Hello, I'm Monsignor Charles Minor.
And I'm Alice Vale. Welcome to this edition of Reel to Reel. We all know how important music is to some young people and how they like to take it into the street. Well, tonight we're going to meet some young people whose music is keeping them off the street.
They'll also take you to Winter Park, Florida, where a special program enables laypersons in the parish to become personally involved in Christ's work.
One of the biggest problems facing our youth today is boredom. Too much time and not enough activity leads some young people to destructive behavior. In Perth Amboy, New Jersey, the Catholic Welfare Bureau has a program specifically designed to keep youngsters busy and happy as they learn to play musical instruments. Perth Amboy, New Jersey is a small industrial town located 30 miles south of New York City. With a population of 40,000 people, Perth Amboy is a city rich in history and ethnic culture. This is Perth Amboy 2. With a Hispanic population of 40% and an unemployment rate of 10%, Perth Amboy is a city with another alternative. It was Nick Giordano, working for the Catholic Welfare Bureau, who assessed the needs of the city's Hispanic community and determined that an on-site community center was part of the answer.
Catholic Welfare Bureau, which is the social service agency of the Diocese of Trenton, provides mental health services here in Middlesex County. And back in 1974, it was apparent to us that this particular community in Perth Amboy didn't utilize our services. So we started at that time an outreach program here at the Sofield Public Houses, and that outreach program has evolved into a multi-service community center.
The program, set up by the Catholic Welfare Bureau 3 years ago on the first floor of the Sofield Housing Project, is called Cultural Alternative. It is designed to meet the needs of the young people here in the city of Perth Amboy. The name Cultural Alternative precisely describes the program.
The need to have access to recreation is something that people just overlook about kids in the inner city. The kids here have, as the only recreational facility, a basketball court outside that's covered with broken glass. Kids get bored. Kids need something to do. If not for our program, there'd really be very little for the kids in this particular community to do. And when they have nothing to do, they vandalize. It's fun to slide down the cables inside the elevator shaft. It's fun to go down to the train yard and spray paint the trains. I mean, those are activities that kids in this community have as a hobby. There's simply nothing else for them to do.
According to Mark Weckler, supervisor of the Sofield Housing Community Center, the Cultural Alternative program primarily addresses the needs of the Black and Hispanic youth in the community who really haven't made it academically or vocationally, or perhaps have had trouble in school or with the police. It provides activities such as photography workshops, ceramic classes, arts and crafts, and music. Will the current federal budget proposal stifle the growth of this program?
The budget cut has already affected our program in that we've lost 10 CETA staff in the last 2 months, most of them being instructors and some of them being core services such as a driver for our van, a janitor to help keep the place clean. And those things really hurt. We're not really in jeopardy as far as the program itself. We will continue to exist, but the quantity of services will be a lot less. The quality, well, I guess that'll diminish somewhat too. What we originally did is we sent flyers through the building explaining what we were attempting to do, the services and the lessons and the classes that we were going to provide, and we had everybody come down and sign up for different things, for different classes. And we just started them out that way. Except for the arts and crafts, which draws young kids, maybe 10, 12 years old, and they're always looking for something to do, and you get vast numbers of them. The bands have evolved out of a grant from the United Way. We got money from them for instruments. We began giving private instructions to the children who signed up, to the point where the kids were getting so good they needed something else to do to keep their interest. So we began to set up bands in different age groups, some older teens and younger kids who also wanted to be involved. The kids have gotten to the point where they're really quite professional and have played out and have done professional jobs. That's part of what we're trying to teach them also, is that there's more to music than just playing music. There's the contract part of it, living up to your responsibilities of coming to a job on time and playing the specified amount of time. And it's really been quite successful. The kids have responded very well. One of the things we have learned in being in this environment is that you make the best of what you've got. You're very limited, rooms are very small. Don't have a lot of money. As an example, we have used egg cartons as acoustical tile in our music room where the kids practice to try and keep the bouncing sound down. Those egg cartons came as part of summer lunch programs, and we actually dug them out of the garbage.
The band you are about to hear has been playing the longest. They work hard to create the Latin sound they enjoy so much, known as salsa. Let's listen to this group at one of their practice sessions. The music this group shares gives young people confidence and faith in themselves. In the past 4 years, so much talent has surfaced that this band now plays professionally, and many hope to find their future in a career of music.
¿Qué es lo que pasa en este maldito mundo? La gente se está perdiendo, tiene envidia y falsedad. Ya no se encuentran amigos, solo existe hipocresía. Dios mío, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Ven a ayudarnos por piedad.
Del Martin has been teaching music to youngsters for 4 years, and in a city that's 40% Hispanic, it's not surprising that this music is so popular. Music brings people together, and a culture is being preserved in the form of Latin music.
The life that goes on in this neighborhood, mainly because there's a bad influence. The Hall Avenue down here has some, bad influences, and that's really the reason that we're here.
This program has been so successful, but it will be cut if the current budget proposals are approved. If we're to provide a healthy environment for the youth of today, we must fight for programs such as this one. If you'd like to help keep this program going, please call the Catholic Welfare Bureau in Fords, New Jersey at area code 201-738-1323.
Hi, I'm Joe Iannone, and with my wife Mercedes, we've been working in Mount Vernon, Virginia these past 10 years with the Center for Family Learning Teams, which joins teams of families, 5 to 15, together to foster family religious education.
Families really are the best way to share our faith with one another. And this is something that we learn not out of a book, but out of our own experience. When I began to reflect on why I am a Catholic and why I believe in God, I had to see that my father was really the biggest influence in my life. He taught me how to live, he taught me how to share, and just recently, after a long and painful cancer illness, he taught me how to die.
Growing up in an extended Italian family, I realized a sense of bonding beyond my own family. Every Palm Sunday, for example, the nephews and nieces would take palm to all our aunts and uncles around the town, giving them palm, wishing them peace, receiving a $50, and going year after year all the way through high school. And it wasn't until later that I realized that not all Catholics do this, not all Italians do it. But we had a sense of belonging in our family to something beyond just our parents and brothers and sisters.
But we don't live in an extended family anymore, and so we really have to create an extended family for ourselves. And we do this by getting together with 4 other families. And we learn from each other, we teach each other, we pray together, and we serve the wider community. This is what Family Learning Teams is all about.
And when we had Kathy and Amy baptized, we promised to nurture their faith. We do this by growing ourselves with other families and family learning teams.
The National Episcopal Cathedral in Washington, D.C. reflects the exquisite beauty of Gothic architecture. It is the only Gothic church presently under construction anywhere. At its west facade, the evidence of construction is more apparent. The main entrance lies hidden under a maze of scaffolding, and it is here, above that main entrance, that the major artwork, a huge sculpture of creation entitled Ex Nihilo, from nothing, is presently being carved. The hands that first shaped the sculpture were those of the artist, Frederick Hart. Hart is now 38 years old, and for the past 7 years, since winning the competition to design the sculpture, his life has been consumed by the process of creating it.
The competition wanted a concept of creation for the whole facade that was not the traditional Pantocrator, you know, an old man with a beard creating the heavens and the earth. They wanted an image or an evocation of creation as an unfolding process of the universe being born of the force of divine will rather than an image of God creating man and woman and so forth. That was the challenge that was given to me, and I resolved it as best I could, as you can see in the Ex Nihilo model. From that plaster, it's replicated in stone by a crew of stone carvers at the cathedral. People have a misunderstanding about stone carving. If the stone carver doesn't just go in there and start whacking away with a chisel and hammer and creating something. He's a craftsman who replicates the sculptor's model using an ancient mechanical process of taking points. He takes millions of little points all over the model and very carefully recreates them exactly in place on the stone.
And this is Vincent Palumbo. The ancient craft of stone carving has been passed down in his family for 5 generations. Transferring the images of Ex Nihilo from the plaster model to the limestone of the cathedral is now a major part of his life.
I estimate about 3 guys work, alternate between 2 to 3 guys will take more or less about 4 years to carve. I spent already almost 1.5 years just to roughing out these things. So, but the quality, what we expect, not the quantity. So, because for the simple reason, this is going to stay for thousands of years. So, I guess 2 months or 3 months or even a year, it won't make no difference. But as long as we're doing a good job.
A good job of recreating the creation.
In the beginning, I had a sort of a glimmer of a vision, a sense of feeling, a strong sensation about what I wanted to do in terms of the impact, the spirit, and the scope of the work. And it wasn't until it was completed that I had a sense that I had done it right.
Our country's elderly who live in nursing homes have a special need for friendship and some sense of community. The Neighborhood Apostolate Ministry program of St. Margaret Mary Catholic Community in Winter Park, Florida, has surely solved some of those needs.
At the time we retired, we made up our minds then that we were going to do something for people or others. I felt that I owed something to people. And Mildred, fortunately, felt the same way.
Right into the orange grove.
Now, in the autumn of their lives, they were eager to begin a new enrichment, fulfilling their lives with the spirit of giving in their seasoned years.
The Franciscans out at Camp San Pedro call us seasoned citizens. And I think that people who are as mature age-wise as we are should have a little seasoning after all these years, 72 plus.
Both Charlie and Mildred Robrecht attack life with great vitality and vigor. Even after Charlie's retirement from Standard Oil in 1963, neither Charlie nor Mildred felt their work was over.
I'm a part of his plan. And as long as he leaves me here, I should fulfill that plan as I see it. Said in other words, I suppose, to follow God's will. And to me, God's will is in here.
So they followed their hearts here to Winter Park, Florida, where they began work with several other members of St. Margaret Mary's Parish, visiting the elderly at area nursing homes and hospitals.
I don't think that we have enough clergy to do the visiting that they would like to do and that needs to be done. And if the laity isn't going to help furnish the assistance to the clergy, who's going to do it? And I think we are the church, really, the laity and the clergy, but we are the people, we are the part of the church. And I think it's up to us to pitch in and help do the job that has to be done.
They meet on a regular basis, not only to discuss the many programs they are involved with, but also as a social gathering to chit-chat and meet new friends. Patty Smoot, director of the hospital ministry program, has been with the group since its beginning.
I have a lot of confidence in lay people who are really motivated to really carry the Christian word, to really see Christ in the people we visit. And I think that it's important for them to recognize us as the body of Christ, the church. And they're not going to do that unless we see Christ in them.
So with that spirit, their group piles into 2 cars and arrives every Tuesday afternoon at Florida Manor Nursing Home, where Mildred heads the bandage program. The bandages made by the members of Florida Manor are sent to the Catholic Medical Mission Board in New York, and from there are sent to missions all over the world.
The people at Florida Manor know that these bandages are going to people they're never going to see. The people who use them don't know where they come from, but they know they're helping somebody who's really in need of help.
Mrs. Charlotte Wilson.
Professionally, I worked in a hospital all my life, and I wanted to do something for sick people. Going to the nursing home was not my thing. This way you feel that you're helping the people in the nursing home because you're preparing the work that they can handle.
I don't go to do the bandages. I go just to talk with the people and let them tell me their troubles. And I go home feeling I'm some use in life.
The only hard time I have is when I say goodbye to them because I feel really sorry for them, you know. Not really, but, you know, in my heart, I feel sorry for them, so that gives me a lift because I know I'm going back next week with the help of God. And that makes them feel good.
I am more grateful that I have my health and able to get around after you see the poor people down there in wheelchairs and confined to beds. And, well, you just realize how lucky you are.
It makes you more conscious of the sick people and trying to help them. And very, very thankful for the fact that you are not one of them.
Meanwhile, Charlie reads the scriptures to a Bible study group that listens intently.
The task part of it comes in preparing, because I have to talk continuously for an hour. I generally spend 8 to 10 hours preparing for each week. And in spite of the fact that I've been in contact with the scriptures for the last 8 or 9 years, it seems I always have to put the 8 or 9 hours in anyway.
He's also up at the break of dawn and has already walked 3 miles before meeting Mildred.
For about 6 years, I guess, I jogged. And then last December, I had a mild coronary. And consequently, was taken off jogging, but told, walk. After I do my circuit downtown and around, I come back up Keys Avenue here. And by that time, Mildred has gotten up, and she's ready to walk, and she comes out to meet me in the driveway, and we do 2 miles then. She does 2 miles, I do the rest of my 5. In other words, I've done 3. And we get back to the house about 7:35, thereabout, and change clothes, wash up, and get to 8 o'clock Mass. And that's the routine.
Many people visualize a nursing home as people that are sitting around like vegetables. They're not moving. They're just existing. In a Florida manor, that isn't really the case. And we think that it's especially not the case when volunteers are involved in making it more alive for them.
A healthy mind, a healthy body. Mildred and Charlie are truly seasoned with all the right ingredients. Combined with their capacity to give service to others, they reap rewarding benefits.
We get more benefit out of doing the kind of things that we do over and above our own recreation. We get more out of it than we give, because I think it just enriches your life.
I get an enormous benefit out of it and an enormous satisfaction. I can feel discouraged about going down and, well, I wish I didn't have to go today and the rest of this. And once I'm there, I'm renewed, really. And I come home feeling on top of the world and real happy.
Whether it's preparing bandages which can be used throughout the world or sharing a smile with a friend, the Apostolate Ministry Program is helping our senior citizens enjoy life a little bit more. Next week, we'll look in on some Vietnamese refugees and how they are adjusting to a life in a new world. Our short subjects will feature the sweet sounds of a dulcimer and a visit with Millicent Rader, an artist in residence at a Washington, D.C. parish.
We'd like to hear from you, so if you have any questions, please write to us. Reel to Reel, 222 North 17th Street, Philadelphia 19103. And thanks for watching.
Have a good week. Goodbye, and God bless you.